Let's talk a little bit about the life. I mean, again, you kind of have a little bit, but if we can go a little bit deeper into it, let's talk about the life of being a female cosplayer and content creator. Again, you do have your amazing community that you definitely talked about before. Shout out to them.
Shout out
Um,
to my Simps.
yeah, shout out to the Sims. What are I guess, what are your favorite things? I guess you kind of already talked about your favorite things. Assuming it's being the community and the support that you've gotten. You got people flying out from France to meet you, stuff like that. So your favorite things and also least favorite things about what you do now.
My favorite thing is making people really excited to see a character that they love in real life. I think that's by far the best part. Going to a con and having someone be like, yo, it's Drew Bonnie. That's awesome. I love Drew Bonnie, right? Like stuff like that.
You killed that one, by the way.
I
That's one of my
love.
favorites of yours, by the way.
She is one of my favorites that I've done too.
With the burger and everything was great.
She did break one of my cosplay rules because I only cosplay characters over 18 because I am an adult and people like my cosplays because I'm pretty, and they're usually adults who find me pretty. So
that's true.
is 14.
All of that information came out after I chose to cosplay. So that one is a pass. But it's unfortunate because now I feel like I can't cosplay her anymore. But I love Jewelry Bonnie. She is one of my favorite characters from One Piece. I loved doing her. But when people saw me as Jewelry Bonnie, they're like, you never see Jewelry Bonnie cosplays. That's awesome. When I did Whitebeard, oh my God, that was so much fun. Like, it was so cool to bring that character to life. Yeah, Nami's fun. And people are like, oh, Nami's hot, right? Like, everybody thinks Nami's beautiful. Yeah. But it's really fun to bring a character to life that people are like, yo, that's awesome. Yeah. I also love to make people laugh. A lot of my cosplay content is just a still picture of me, but my favorite kind of content to make is where I get to have my personality come through. My like get readies with me, my silly content with my friends. When I get to be in Rob's videos, I call it like my friend Ditto that I do streams with. I diet stream. I don't have to do any of the content. I just show up. When I make YouTube videos with Rob, I'm diet YouTubing because I'm not doing the work. I just show up and I'm silly. So I love making those because people. My friend coined that phrase. He's like, oh, Hunny does my diet. She does diet streaming. But yeah, I diet YouTube and I diet streaming because I don't do like the full stuff myself. But like when I get to look at the comments and people get to be like, yo, Hunny's so funny. I'll be like, yeah, I'm funny. You think I'm funny. I love that. And people just like the energy, right? The energy is, people always say, like my simps say, like, we stopped for your face and for how beautiful you are, but we stayed for your personality. Like, that's why we're staying here. I didn't expect to stay in the Discord. I didn't expect to sub to your Patreon. But I did because I enjoyed your content. Yeah, they think I'm pretty, and my Patreon is where I make my money, and it's my like more adult related cosplay content. But I get to put my personality into stuff that is by far the best part of my content, and that's my favorite part of my content. Awesome. So, and all of my cosplay, all of my content friends like Smile Bomb and all of those people out there, they're like, Hunny, your cosplays are great. We love your cosplays. You need to make more content with your personality. Your personality is so funny. That is what stands out. So I definitely need to lean into that more because they're like, you have a personality to entertain, and that will stick. A lot of people don't have that, so don't run with it. So I'm definitely going to lean into that more, make a YouTube video for the freaking a millionth time that I'm trying to make a YouTube video. The date is set in stone, but there was a date set in stone like a month ago and I was supposed to make it, and we made Rob's video instead. So hopefully this time I'll make the video. So that's by far my favorite part of my content is having my personality and the community aspect. And then probably the worst part of content is the days where you just don't feel good, and my work is my face and my body, and it stinks to have a day where you really just don't want to exist and you can't. Like, I can't do that if I have something scheduled where I have to make content, right? Like my Patreon, for instance, I post daily on my Patreon, and some days I just don't want to post. Like, I just don't want to exist. But I've made a commitment to myself, and realistically, I'm my own boss. If I want to go on my Patreon and delete the word daily and say weekly, I could do that. Like, there's nobody stopping me from doing that. But like, related back to what we said in the beginning, I am a hardworking bitch. Like, I am my own boss, and I'm going to treat myself like an employee. And if I have made a commitment to myself, I am going to do that thing.
Yeah, I love that.
I have to push through those hard days, or else I'm just going to wallow in my bed, and that's just it's not going to work.
And it'll trickle down too. Like it'll start as one thing, and then the next thing you know, it's monthly. The next thing is like, whenever I feel like it. Yeah. So I love that.
Yeah, and my community all the time is like, honey, if you need to take a break, because we're not going to enjoy your content if we can tell that you're miserable. And I'm like, I'm not miserable. I feel better. Like I feel good about myself when I push through the difficult stuff, right? Yeah. And then I feel successful, and then I get that euphoric feeling, and then I'm good. If and I'll wallow for a little bit, like I was saying earlier, like being sad is okay. And I can be sad for a little bit, and I can be like have a hard day for a little bit. But I feel really good when I get through those bad days by pushing through it. It feels really good to like get your stuff done, right? Get your stuff done, get your work done. And again, because I'm my own boss, I have to have those deadlines in for myself. Like a lot of my Patreon content is I do like I game with people. Like people can sign up to have a phone call with me or a video call with me where we watch anime together, we just get to know each other, or we get to play a video game together. I don't make that much money doing that compared to just general people subbing to my content. I could honestly drop that completely now and still be comfortable with the amount of money I'm making. But I made a commitment to those people. I like having that rigid schedule. I like being able to say 4 times a week, I'm doing this thing. I have a phone call. I have to be there. I have to be on time. It keeps me in line, because when you're working for yourself, you could so easily just sit back and go, I did something last week. I'll be fine. I'll just watch some anime today. No, I am not that kind of girl. I cannot do that. So yeah, it can be hard to have days where you don't want to make content, but feels good to make content when you're not wanting to make content, because then afterwards you go, I did it.
Proud of myself. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like being a student. Like I absolutely hate doing homework, but in the same way, I love doing it. Like the feeling I have right now, knowing I just finished my last final, feels that feeling makes doing homework worth it for me. Because I love the feeling of being successful after doing something hard.
Yeah,
feels
absolutely.
Good.